Alright guys, this is a long playing review for Enduro Racer on the Amstrad CPC, a conversion of an arcade game from Sega in 1986, and we're going to take a look at the arcade original first for comparison as always. But there was two cabinets released, an upright cabinet with handlebars and also a full-size one with a sit-down dirt bike. Both obviously had the handlebars there, and the special feature being that you could pull up the handlebars to do wheelies. So, this was designed by the legendary Yu Suzuki, he of Hang On, Outrun, Afterburner fame. Unfortunately though, this does feel a little bit rushed out knockoff of Hang On, but an off-road dirt bike version with rocks and logs to jump off. The only new real feature is the ability to pull up the handlebars as mentioned earlier to do wheelies, which will make you jump further when you go over the aforementioned logs and rocks. But the presentation here feels a little cut down and bare compared to the other Sega classics from the era. And although it feels like another version of Hang On, which we'll see shortly, it's actually using the Space Harrier hardware, but has little of the same thrills and excitement of that game. So it's kind of one of Sega's forgotten and less well-known games. Perhaps it's more well-known for its console and home computer conversions. And here we go. It has a very, very tough time limit. Crash badly once and you can forget about getting to, maybe even getting to the next stage. Definitely even completing it. You've got to go full pelt all the way through without any serious crashes. Otherwise you can forget it. So it's a very tough and punishing game. Pretty much as, I have to say, it's probably as almost less tough than Outrun. Actually, no, I think I'd say this is actually tougher than Outrun, to be honest with you. And there we go, get to the checkpoint, and then the stage changes. We're now sort of in a desert area. Pull back as soon as you can, and the longer you've been doing a wheelie before the jump, the faster your speed will be as you land. As you can see, there's lots of jumps to do, lots of rocks starting appearing in the way as well. And some real tight turns. We've crashed there, nice little crash animation. Quickly back on the road again, but forget about completing the game. No chance. You've got to be pretty much perfect. Well, notice how many jumps we get on the second stage consecutively. And yeah, the graphics are okay. They're very pastel-y. They probably use the same palette as like Outrun and Space Harrier, but those two games just seem to look a bit better. And then we're already out of it. Very, very tough game. We get a little map showing how far we've gone. High score table. I will say the soundtrack's pretty good. It's not too bad. The tune's relatively memorable. Nowhere near as good as the tunes on Outrun or Space Harrier. But there you go. So that is the Sega original arcade version, and now it's time to move on to the Amstrad one and onto our long play. Now here's the box art. It was released by Activision in 1987, and just note that Wikipedia has it incorrectly listed as 1989, but that's wrong. So let's power this up and boot it up. And we're playing a cracked version. I'll explain why in a bit. A so-so loading screen, but this might give you a clue that this is probably going to be a specky port, and it is. This conversion was a complete port of the rather decent Spectrum version, but as you find, it doesn't play anywhere near as smooth or as fast. We had the credits there on the title screen before. We got the demo and choice of options there. It can have two-player, but it's taken in turns two-player, not simultaneous two-player. But yeah, the credits there. This was done by MD Software, aka Melvert Dink, who also did a whole brace of okay to bad specky ports on the Amstrad. From the Dire, like Big Trouble in Little China, to the Passport like Last Ninja 2. If you look at the rest of his Amstrad games, Hammerfist, Nightmare, Super Hang On, Time Machine, it appears he has made a career out of doing lazy specky ports on the Amstrad, I'm afraid. For shame! That said, they are all still rather playable and okay, apart from Big Trouble. And yeah, we've got a very slow and sluggish Speccy port here. Now this is the right perspective in the video. I've added the borders on to the left and right of the screen to show you where the Amstrad screen would have been. So we've got a greatly reduced plain area size. Although I can put up with that, it's just the frame rate is pretty crap. I wouldn't want to guess and estimate the frame rate. I suspect it might even go into single digits. But it's nowhere near as fast and smooth as the Speccy original that this is ported from. But it does play a passable game of Enduro Racer, and things seem to go well on this first level, but it soon descends and gets rather frustrating. And there's some dodgy collision detection there. Perhaps some of those rocks should have killed me there. I say kill me, should have knocked me off the bike. Just quickly, graphics by Focus, aka Sal Marchese. He was at perhaps a better career on the Amstrad with graphics like on Afterburner, which was excellent. In fact, we've encountered him quite a lot recently on my channel, some recent videos, having also done the graphics for Aliens, the UK version, which I did a live long stream of, Galaxy Force, another very recent video of mine, and Ghostbusters 2. But things start to go really wrong on the second stage here. Corners, the bends are really stupidly tight, so you have to reduce your speed down to about, I think, 90-ish kilometers per hour. And the jumps, as you'll see coming up, really, they start coming thick and fast. There's not much distance between the jumps, means you're constantly jumping, constantly like losing speed. And yeah, the collision detection there is pretty awful. I wonder if the same collision detection problems were on the Speccy original. Maybe some of you Speccy fans watching this video can tell me in the comments. But yeah, never getting enough speed really to keep consistent. Now you've got to watch where the bend is going to go after the jump. So if the bend is going to the right, you need to be moving right and holding right before pulling the wheelie or just going over the jump. And then you'll find yourself flying to the right, jumping. Now the time there started with 67 seconds on this stage. That's because I think we had, what, 7 or 17 seconds left. So it just adds 60 seconds on to the remaining time. So time to complete stages as we go on is getting less and less. But I think really it's this stage where the ramps just keep coming and coming and coming. Although there's one interesting thing on this stage. I think if you go off the side of the track, there's like quicksand. You can start, yeah, you see the bottom of the bike there. Quicksand, and you can actually sink down. You might see it here actually. Yeah, just raising out there, just. Right, but yeah, like the arcade version, this game is stupidly hard. You might get away with maybe the odd couple of bad crashes this time if you want to complete it, unlike the arcade. However, the Amstrad version throws far more obstacles and jumps in your way, making it a complete nightmare. Oh, there you go, there's me crashing. I think I can get away with one more crash like that. We might just sneak it. But guys, I can't explain or underestimate just how hard this game is, and the number of tries it took to beat it. In fact, also when practicing the long play, to my horror, I found the game actually crashed when you complete it. The screen corrupts, freezes, and the stage counter goes up to a non-existent stage number. But thankfully, the CPC Wiki forums came to my rescue. Although there was some confusion on there and discussion, because some people actually seem to remember vaguely completing the game, and they thought they didn't remember it crashing, so that's a little odd. Anyway, lots of dumps were tested though, and the always reliable and excellent Nish, aka Nicholas Campbell, on the forums found the bug in the game, which is caused by the timer not being reset to 0 when the game is completed. So not only did he find that, but he also cracked and patched the game and released the disc to everyone. So if you want to play this game yourself, make sure you download the 2017 version. It also includes a cheat mode, which we saw on the loading screen there. So thank you very much to Nish, and this is the version we're playing here. So we're on the penultimate stage, and there's 5 stages, and we are going to use a glitch or a programming oversight to beat this game on the final stage, which we'll see shortly. So I'm having to reduce my speed there to 90-ish kilometers per hour. Oh, look at the back collision detection there. That was pretty bad. I was nowhere near that rock. Thankfully, it didn't send me flying off my bike. If you only just edge onto the obstacle, it doesn't always end up with a bad crash. But yeah, I'm just actually, it's sometimes quicker to actually go around these jumps. I didn't get a chance to pull back and do a wheelie there on that jump, which again greatly reduced my speed. And there's so many of these jumps in a row that your speed just gets sucked away down and down and down. And it's just such a frustrating experience. I guess it wouldn't be so bad if there wasn't such a bad frame rate, slowness. The controls are okay. We've got no music. The in-game sound effects are pretty terrible. Just that stupid noise when you're doing jumps or crashing. But thankfully we just sneaked into the final stage here. So this is what I'm going to do here, guys. And apologies, I think the video drops a few frames here and there at the start of this. Yeah, sorry about that. Not my fault. And there's also some weird sounds as well, like that aren't in the game that got picked up on the recording. Don't know why. Anyway, we're going to jump and then end up on the far right of the screen. And then we can go max speed, avoiding all the obstacles without penalty, pretty much. We've got to watch out for when the road bends to the right. We might end up hitting the edge of the trees and some rocks there. You can actually get by it every now and again without ever crashing. You might want to reduce your speed just to be sure, like here. Unfortunately, I didn't reduce in time, so I crashed. But God, just look how slow it is to basically get you back on the track and then speed off. And your speed goes up so slowly. But yeah, we should get away with this then. And this is how we're going to complete the game. And you will see how close I came to, even though I'm going like, what, I get up to about 190 kilometers per hour down this side of the track. When we actually complete it, we'll see how little time we had left and what little chance we would have had to beat it if I hadn't done this. I think I have done this before without using this sort of glitch or programmer oversight to beat the game, but boy was that tough. We're just gonna do it. Just reduce my speed there just enough, and we're coming to the end. No real finish line. And there you go. That is Enduro Racer completed. Thankfully it doesn't crash anymore. We see our times, and that's about it, I'm afraid. That's all there is for Enduro Racer. No real ending, unfortunately. Or there's no map screen, there's no high score table. Well, there's that, but you can't put initials in or anything like that. Anyway, who cares about high score tables? So there you go, guys. In summary, no music, sound effects is not great, graphics are okay for a specky port, but still bad. Bare minimum presentation. It's playable. There are worse arcade versions, but overall, it's a slow and frustrating experience. So for me, guys, final review score is going to get a 6 out of 10, and that's been fairly generous. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed. More long plays coming up soon. See you again on the next video. Cheers. Goodbye. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please click a like below, leave a comment, and also subscribe if you haven't already. And over that way, there's another video for you to check out. Zypho out.